Hi everyone, today I'm going to share what I learned while exploring the documentation for the Amazon Fire TV. I chose the Fire TV because I actually own one and I use it a lot at home. I've always been curious how it was made and how its interface and apps could be improved. Sometimes I find it a little cluttered or confusing to use, so I wanted to understand what goes into designing and building apps for it. The Fire TV documentation is on Amazon's developer site, and it's structured to take you from understanding what Fire TV is to publishing your app. There's an overview explaining the platform and the two types of apps, web or native. Then there are design guidelines, which explain best practices for TV screens like font sizes, navigation with a remote, and keeping things clear for users sitting farther away. There are sections for APIs and SDKs with code samples and libraries. Finally, there's a section for testing and publishing, which explains how to test on devices and submit your app to the App Store. 3 key features stood out to me. First is Alexa voice integration, which lets users navigate and control apps with voice commands alone. Second is the Fire App Builder, which is a ready-to-go project template for building streaming media apps. And third are the TV optimized UX guidelines, which teach you how to make design for the TV screen, like making text larger and focus states for remote control navigation. Some of the most helpful resources I found were the design guidelines, which have lots of examples and specific tips, the Fire App Builder GitHub repo, which is an open source and gives you a starting point for your app. There isn't an official downloadable UI kit like you see for iOS or Android, but the examples and templates included are still really useful. The developer community is smaller than web or mobile, but there are forums and GitHub discussions where developers help each other. Exploring the Fire TV documentation was really interesting for me because I use it every day and notice areas where it could improve. Now I understand more about why the interface is the way it is and what constraints designers and developers face. Compared to other documentation I've used, it's more niche and sometimes harder to navigate, but it has good focused advice. The biggest challenge was that some sections assume you already know Android development, but overall, I think the documentation will help me if I ever want to design or improve an app for TV. To sum it up, Fire TV is a unique platform focused on delivering media on large screens using both a remote and voice commands. Its documentation covers all the essentials, from designing to development to publishing, and even though it could be a bit more organized, it gave me a clear idea of how the platform works and how I might even make it better someday. Thank you for watching, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.